Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast. Let's talk about it with your host, Felita. Hope everyone is having a great week. We are going to get right into it. So, the season finale of Housewives of Beverly Hills aired, and it was really good. And I want to talk about the relationship between Kyle and Mauricio. Married for 26 years, they are now separated, living in the same home. I thought that Kyle was a little confused. I think that some of the girls, a part of the cast, are upset with her just because she wasn't truthful. During the taping, they were actually separated, but she was saying different. And then after, when everyone found out, it hit the media, then she's like, yes, we're admitted. So I guess I can kind of understand, how she wanted to keep that private. However, when you're filming a reality show, and that is your reality, you have to come clean with that. But I do think Kyle has been forthcoming with everything in her life. Kyle is a person who wears her heart on her sleeve. If she is sad, you're going to know it. She doesn't really do a great job at hiding her feelings. It does make me sad that they've been married for 26 years. But at the end of the day, so many people stay in marriages, relationships just because of what they feel like other people are going to say or think of them, as opposed to how they feel. And at the end of the day, both Kyle and Mauricio need to be happy. And if that means, separation ultimately ends in divorce, it is what it is, sadly. But those two people have to be happy. And that's the most important thing. And I know that this wasn't a decision that was easy, because you look at their relationship, it was, great for years, but you just never know, like, how long they have both been unhappy and just going through the motions. But I think that Kyle was extremely transparent and she was extremely vulnerable when she said, there's just been a lot of things that she just no longer was okay with and she couldn't be okay with it. And I think, people put up with, things for whatever, for however long it may be. And then everyone has a breaking point where you just go, no, it's not this. And it could have been something really small because we don't really know. And you may say, oh, you're leaving because of this? That was really nothing. But it's not that. It's because it was everything else. And that just was the straw that broke the camel's back. And you're just like, I can't do it anymore, even though it could have been something that was really small. We just never know. And if she wants to date Morgan, let her date Morgan. Who cares? Let people live their life. I really don't care. If it doesn't interfere with me, I don't really care. At the end of the day, everyone needs to be happy and everyone needs to feel love. So who are we to have an opinion? There's always people that are going to speculate, especially when you don't really know what's going on. Those two people know what's going on, and that's their business. And at the end of the day, she needs to be happy. And if the happiness for both Kyle and Mauricio means, obviously they're separated, but if it looks like divorce and divorce with someone else or divorced, dating, divorce, single, whatever it looks like, that's their business and they have to figure it out because at the end of the day, everyone needs to be happy. So I will commend Kyle on her vulnerability. I felt like she's extremely transparent. And when you look at the franchise of the Housewives across the board, she is definitely one that sticks out as far as being vulnerable and putting it all out there. So if she wanted to hold this a little close to her chest before letting it all out, hey, I'm not going to knock her down for that. She did it. But, she talks about everything. And then Mauricio, he has his show on Netflix that's called The Agency. I've watched it a couple times. It's actually really good. But I have so many other things going on in my life. I just don't have the time to sit down and watch these shows. So it's going to have to be like a rainy day, cold, whatever. You can't go anywhere. And I will binge watch a lot. Other than that, I have too many irons in the fire. too much stuff going on with Felita. But yeah, so Mauricio also, spoke about it as well. Everyone has opinions and everyone is always going to have opinions. But at the end of the day, those two people are the two that are going through it, as well as, their children. Because if you're going through it, that is something that just does not just affect the two immediate people. There are other people around that it affects, and it's their children, obviously. It's just like something that the whole family has to deal with and adjust to. So I do, again, kudos to Kyle and kudos for Mauricio for actually, talking about it as well with his daughters. And this is something I really wanted to talk about. I don't know if any of my audience, if you've ever heard of Wendy Williams, and I'm sure some of you have. If not, please Google her. Wendy Williams started off on the radio. She's a radio gossip. Then she made the switch from radio to TV. She had a show a few years ago, and then she really took off when she had the Wendy Williams show. People had already heard about her. She's a gossiper. If there was anything that you were doing and you didn't want anyone to know, she was putting it out there, like a little bit too much sometimes that I'd be like, damn, that's that person's business. She would put you on blast. She didn't even care. It's kind of a little crazy. I personally would never go after anyone like that. It's a lot. And some things that were extremely personal and private to famous people, celebrities, rappers, actors, reality stars, she would just put it out. And I was like, whoa, that was very personal, very private. She would just put it out. She didn't care. So, long story short, I would watch her show sometimes because she would have some really good guests on it. But the past few years, she wasn't on her show. And I know during that time, she had been married to her husband for many, many years. There was always rumblings that, he did his own thing and she was fully aware of it. So everything came to a head, I want to say maybe 2 years ago. It could be three. Her husband at the time, who she was married to, has always had this woman, this mistress, his other woman. And she knew about it, but she's like, listen, you do you, just don't embarrass me. Don't get her pregnant. Don't do anything. So I guess he did. He got the woman pregnant, has a little girl, everything. And for me, that, if you look at Wendy, that was the thing that like spiraled for her. And it was just like, I feel like it broke her and she has never been the same after that. You know, she never really addressed it on her show as well, which I thought was kind of funny because I'm like, you're like the queen of talking about everyone's business. Now you're like TMZ, everyone is covering you. You're like a part of all the gossip and, you know, everyone's talking about you, but you don't want to address the elephant in the room. So I thought that was kind of funny. Like, you were the person that talks about everyone. Like, you should have sat there and been like, hey, listen, this is what's going on. Like, this Mo F is, he did me like this or whatever. Yeah. So then she went into like rehab. They said she was drinking. She was on drugs. I don't even, you never really ever heard. Long story short, she lost her show. Sherry Shepherd took over the show. Now she has the show. Wendy's gone. Now, Lifetime does a documentary on her. And I guess this started 2 years ago. Yeah, I'd say 2 years ago in 2021, they started like putting it together. The documentary has finally aired. I just saw the first two episodes, so I'm not really sure if episode 3 or episode 4, whatever has aired. I just would love to know who thought that this was a great idea. It's horrible. It's a horrible depiction of Wendy Williams and just how in the state that she is. And I guess she recently got diagnosed with frontal dementia, aphasia, which is horrible. It affects your personality. This woman is being recorded for a documentary that is horrible. She cannot walk. She doesn't understand what she's saying half of the time. And her manager is like, "We're ready to tape a podcast." And it's like, "Tape a podcast? Are you kidding me?" This is sad. Like, I don't know who her team is, but she clearly needs her family. So her mom's passed away. Her husband, who was her manager, her best friend, everything, they're divorced. He's with this new woman. It's just so devastating. That has broke her. She has one son. It was for me to watch because, it was so sad. It's like, why would someone do that? Why would Lifetime, her manager, like, why would you think this was okay? This woman clearly is not in her right frame of mind to be recorded on national TV for the world to see. She also has Graves' disease because she has a thyroid issue. So that causes her eyes to bulge out. And she also, recently diagnosed with the dementia, and obviously this is new. So this was shot, 2 years ago, but they're filming. I just would have never let that be released. I would have never, if that was my mom, I would have been embarrassed. She just needs someone there that has her back. And for me, I would think it would be her family, her son, her sister, her brother, someone, that is in the right frame of mind, that has Wendy Williams' best interests, would be there to watch her money, make sure she's not being taken advantage of. Why does she need a manager? She doesn't need a manager. Wendy Williams is not in the right frame of mind to do anyone's podcast. She doesn't even know what you're saying to her. You say something to her 1 minute, the next minute she's talking about something else. It was so sad and depressing to see. It bothered me so bad that you see this woman who was like on point, talking about people, right? Doing her show. And you're like, wow, this is crazy. The alcoholism contributed to the dementia. She drank every day. This was something that you hid. And, people that are close to you on your team, obviously it's not going to come out. You have to sign these waivers. But it's really sad that she needs a brand new team from management to everyone. She doesn't need a team. You just need your family there that are not putting you out there to exploit you. It was sad. It was at its worst. And shame and see that if any manager that cared about you would have said, nah, this is a no. This is a hard no. We are not airing this. If you want to talk to my family, you can talk to the family, but you're never going to talk to Wendy Williams. It's so sad. I urge you to watch it, and everyone will be like, wow, now I know what you're talking about. It's so sad. Again, like I said, any family member that I loved, whether it's an aunt, you know, my mom, my sister, my brother, anyone, I would never allow this to happen. I would never let them ever be recorded for TV or for anything, any type of interview until I knew they were of a right mindset. So that part makes me so sad, and I know a lot of people have said, oh, it's karma. She's getting back. What goes around comes around. And, I do believe that to an extent. However, I never wish this on anyone. She is beyond frail. She is thin. She's not eating. Her mind is gone, gone. It's like having a conversation with a 4-year-old, a 4 or 5-year-old. It's so sad, breaks your heart. And shame on Lifetime and shame on your management. You need a new team. Again, like you said, you need no team. All you need is your family. What do you need a team for? You're not doing anything. You're paying these people For what? To take advantage of you? To steal your money? To have you do? She doesn't need that. She needs her family. And I'm sure her siblings, she has a sister and she has a brother, and she has a son, her biological son. I'm sure they have to love her and are not trying to take advantage of her. I have to believe that in my heart, because I find it pretty sad that your family is going to try to exploit you and take advantage of you. You know, it just breaks your heart. Someone needs to step in. I know she has someone through the courts that is, in charge of her money. She just needs her family, and she just needs all these bad people out of her life, because I'll tell you, people are like piranhas. You got money, you're not in the right mindset, people will take advantage of you. You see all the vultures coming in like, "Oh, let's get on it. Let's pray. Let's take all the money. Right money for this. I'm gonna go shopping. I got the credit card." It's heartbreaking. It really is. And I don't wanna see any more of Wendy. I really don't. I want her to get healthy. And if we never see her again, it's okay. She only needs to be with her family. It's so sad. It really is. I don't know if you've ever had a loved one go through it. It's heartbreaking to see that person who used to be so full of life and had everything, to see them just wither away. Weight wise, their mind is gone. They don't know who you are. That's extremely hurtful. So I am, sending Wendy Williams a lot of love and just wishing her the best. I hope she gets healthy and, you know, just surrounds herself, hope she's in a great facility that will really help her and take care of her cognitive, neurological, I can't pronounce, neurological, take care of all her issues, her neuro issues. She has a great neurologist. She's dealing with, someone's working with her cognitive issues, you know, someone is working with her on, so many issues, because it is so sad. It's really heartbreaking. I'm wishing her the best and, her family, because this is a hard time. And I wish to see no more documentaries about her, no more exploitation. Sad, heartbreaking. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Again, have a wonderful day. Share your thoughts and let me know if you get a chance to watch it. Let me know what you feel, your thoughts on that, and take care of yourselves. All right. Have a wonderful day. Until next week. Bye.